faces be shining like this when everybody is complaining out there? How can your faces be shining? I mean, you guys are all suspects. You can only be Goshen. So say to your neighbor, welcome to Goshen. And ask your neighbor how his or her day has been. Make sure you get a response. It's been amazing. Oh, what a beautiful month. Thank God for his word that's gone ahead of us. Welcome once more. So sometime at the end of last year, when I took stock of the year, I gave myself some kind of credit. I felt it was a good year. I had some good outcome, better than previous years, but I was still not satisfied. I thought I was successful, but I was still not satisfied. There are a number of words that are often used interchangeably: luck, grace, favor. When you see someone doing well and you are to maybe give an opinion, you probably say he's from a wealthy home. You see somebody else doing well, you say he was enabled. Maybe he came out with a first class. Most times we assume when people do well, such people have been enabled, and we just feel, oh, he's successful because somebody has helped him. Oprah Winfrey said that the quest for success is good, but it is not satisfying. That's why when someone gets money, the person wants more. Wants what else? More money. When someone gets power, the person wants more power. So when you want to be successful, you will find out that success is not enough. A new job, I want to relocate. I'm in the UK now. I've gotten to my dream country. I've got my dream job. I've gotten married. I've got the children I want to have. But you still find out that there's something lacking. What is lacking? After success, what else? Ask your neighbor. What's left after success? Wait for the response. It's not a rhetorical question. Okay, any response? Are you wondering what is left after success? Do you want to know what is left after success? Again? Grace? Thank you for that. Thank God Days of Grace is happening next week, so we'll have a double dose of it. But after success, it's not grace. And this time around, it's not a thin line. It's not the next door. After success, there's something called significance. There's significance after success. Success, most times, is when you invest in yourself and you get returns. But significance is when you invest in other people and you get returns. So significance is where there's impact, where there's relevance. Let's talk about Martin Luther King. If all he did was for his household, we won't be talking about him in Nigeria. There are some men of God that we hold so dearly because of what they've done beyond their families. So what do you need to do? How can you move from success to significance? If you were like me, who at the beginning of the year, you enjoyed the creational story, Days of Grace in December, and you came into January, you were like, let me lounge, it's time to chill. This year, I will just be laughing. There's something else beyond your success. You've got to make a move from success to significance. And like Mandela said, it's a long walk. It's not the next door. Now, what do you need to do if you need to move from success? You've enjoyed, you've prayed, you've got answers, you've set goals, you've hit the goals, you've tried to aim for some things, you've achieved them. What next? What else are you supposed to do? Let me help you make it very simple. Number one, so I came up with 4 points. If the IT is ready, I'd like us to do it together. The first one is, do what Adam Smith, is that name familiar? Okay, Adam Smith was one of the fathers of economics. Some of those boring things we learn sometimes. So let's do what he said. You've got to understand the concept of priorities. That thing about needs and wants. Okay, so it's just normal that if you were earning a 300,000, I know people who earn as much as 800,000, and guess what? Their salaries for the next 8 months are in some loan company because they've taken a loan for so long, you know. They've taken a loan that they'll probably pay up after some 2 years or so. So what he just said to me is, that thing you need, that job, I want to change my job, I want a different source of income, a 500,000 will not cover it. A 2 million might not cover it. You need to put something in place to help you maximize whatever you have. And one of it will be priorities. You've got to learn to exercise your power of choices. It's not everything that you can have that you should have. It's not everything that is at your doorstep that is for you. It's not everything that everybody around you has that you should take advantage of. Okay? So it's important for you to understand that those guys that came up with theories on economics, they were not wrong. They were not godly, but they were not wrong. Priorities also work in the kingdom. It's very important for you to sit down and ask yourself, what is a necessary thing for me to have? What is a nice to have? What is the urgent need I have? What must I have between today and tomorrow? What do I need to have maybe in a very short while? Yes, we would always say the money is not enough, the resources are not enough, but if you prioritize, you're more likely to be happier. Priority makes people happy because you would now not spend on things that you would probably need the money for later. So making priorities moves you from a life of success into your first step of significance. Number 2, every time Pastor Joseph said to us, go public. How many of us like that line? Go public. Don't shine in the dark. Don't wink in the dark. Go public. Every time he said that line, it just sounds like there's an interpreter in my ear that is saying, every time he says go public, do you know what I hear? I hear systems, I hear structure, I hear process. When a company makes maybe a 2 billion in a year and they say to themselves, we've done well, let's give our staff maybe 13th month, let's give them more than what they deserve. They will do that, then come in the evening with some other people and say, let's plan for next year. Let's see how to raise the bar. And then from their structure, from their systems, they begin to introduce people, because I know that the people you need at the beginning of a venture are not the same people you need when the business is going to another level. That's why you must stay relevant, because your boss can just assume you have helped him to move to the level where you can no longer work with him again. And then he will tell you one day that you're not the person I need in this place. Have you heard that line before? I need somebody that can think like, and then you'll be wondering, well, we've been here for the past 6 years. What has changed? So it's really important that we also upgrade ourselves. So structure do not only work for organizations and businesses, they work for individuals. It's high time you came up with your own structure, your system, your standard, your principles. Men are not supposed to, okay, so how is it said now? Principles run men. Men do not run principles. I think it could also go the other way around. But it's so important that you have a standard and there's something you are known for. If your success has taken you to a particular point and you do not have structure, you're going to fall back to where you were. And that's why you notice some people have money, they're like, this thing that spikes, they had money before, what has happened, they're back again, and they have money, So it's really, really important that you build structure, you build system, you come up with a process that would help you to move further. Number 3, which I consider the most important, is discipline. Discipline is your investment in yourself. The difference between a successful person and another successful person, I dare say, is discipline. Discipline is the reason why you will get up when every other person is probably asleep. I remember when I came to Lagos and I got married, I had a son, I had a job, and I was depressed. I was not literally depressed. I'm not telling you a story. I was depressed. I was unhappy going to work. I was unhappy coming home. I just felt, you know what? Let me just run away. Let me just end all of this rubbish. So I thought to do one thing. I thought to talk to my pastor. And I said, I'm stressed. I can't take this anymore. So he listened to me, and I was ranting in a very calm way for about 2 hours. Then he said, okay, so what exactly is the issue? I said, sir, the most annoying part is having to leave my house at 5 a.m. Where I grew up in Kaduna, nobody leaves the house before 8. You'll be looking for trouble if you're out of your house. So what's all this buzz in Lagos? And so it was uncomfortable. And then he listened to me. He said, go home, I'll call you. I got home and he called. So he said, put the phone very close. I need you to hear me. He said, every time you wake up in the morning and you step out of your house, do you see women? I said, yes. He said, do you see women driving? I said, yes. Do you see some people getting into buses? I said, yes. He said, do you think they are married? I said, well, I wouldn't know, but I see women on my way, so I don't know if they are married. He said, do you think they have children? I said, well, I won't know. Some of them look like they have, and some do not. He said, every woman that leaves her house at 5 a.m. in the morning is also not happy, but they are doing what they have to do, because your mistake is that you are emotional with your job. You can't be emotional with your work. You can't get to the office and say, my boss was unhappy with me, my boss frowned. Why are you looking at his face? Why don't you just do your job and go? What's your business with his expression? The day you do your work well, you will know whether the boss is happy with you or not. Smiling might not be his talent. He might not be a member of Greeters, or it might be somebody that bones and, So it's really important that your level of discipline sets you apart from others. Discipline can be termed in different ways. You can check discipline from punctuality, check it from your ability to do more than what is required, check it in your ability to improve yourself. How many books have you read this month? It was a struggle when Pastor kept talking about the books in December. I won't ask you if you read it. It's okay if you read it, and if you've not read it, please read it. But how many books have you read to improve yourself? What are you doing differently to see that your result is different from the last time, or whatever you had the last time, the last success you had? What are you doing to see that this time around, I'm going to hit the mark, I'm going to do something a lot more? And then number 4, that proverb that talks about a river forgetting its source is very, very true. When you mention significance, like I told you at the beginning of this talk, does not refer or reflect on one person alone. When Pastor shared his story with us on Sunday about the man of God where he got born again, you could see the excitement when he was going back to honor him. Okay, so it's just true that for you to enjoy success that would get to a point of significance, you must never forget your source. You must never say to yourself, when I didn't have a job, I could come to church. I mean, I could do that when I didn't have a job. Don't expect me to do it now that I'm working 8 to maybe 5 to 10 p.m. When I didn't have this, I could do this. Oh, now that I'm wealthy, I won't let you talk to me that way. Do you know who you're talking to? You have the slightest idea of who you're talking to. Who is your father? You know, all those questions are a proof that somebody has missed it somewhere. And the failure does not translate to financial terms. It starts from values before it gets to financial terms. So for you to move from success to significance, always check. Have an accountability partner. Have someone who you know that would not tell you a lie. I know a friend who says things in a hurtful way, and sometimes when she says her advice that I have not asked for, I keep away for some time. I find out it's true and I go and look for her. But I know that when I need someone to be objective with me, I can trust her. So have someone who you know will tell you the truth and be ready to move your feedbacks into a feed forward. Don't argue with criticisms anymore. Don't look at yourself and say to yourself that if only it was this. Leave out the if onlys. Leave out the locks, the stories on locks. Leave out the story on lottery. Leave out the story on, okay, I have done this. Ask yourself, now that I have done this and I intend to live a life of relevance, I intend to live a life of significance, how many people have I touched? What about my source? How much have I grown beyond that source that has helped me to get to this point? There's truly no success without a successor. But the success, the real success, is always traceable to a root. So it's really important you identify where your root is and stay connected. See you on Wednesday. Thank you so much, everyone.